I like this choice. If it's the right positions, he's going to have a nice advantage with a quick Colossus play to actually harass the expansion of Major.
We've also seen a lot of two-base timing pushes coming up from Protoss, rather Terran. That'd be pretty scary if they had two-base timing pushes here. But no, with Terran pushing at the expansion, sieging up, and doing a lot of damage. Even though it's a big map, this map is sort of the exception to that due to the way it's configured. So both of our players are ready. So make some noise here at MLG Columbus, Ohio. Will incontrol come back?
Maybe.
Or is Major going to close this out?
He definitely has the skill to do it, Tasis.
The world is watching. Let's find out what happens. The game is loading now. Okay. Down here in the bottom right, we have incontrol saying good luck here. Will there be any GL?
I don't think so.
Boop. Over here is Major. Will incontrol say anything more? I don't know.
I think so.
Probably.
He's a talker, that incontrol.
He is. So they're in cross spots right now.
Well, that's probably the best spots for a nice big macro game, which I am totally dying to see. It is a rotationally symmetric map, Tasteless. So, for instance, with where incontrol is, if Major happened to be at the top right, then he could walk about 3 steps out of his base, like we see the probe doing right now. He's walk right from here to right over here. Well, I guess he's going in the wrong direction.
What is this thing, anyways? Is this like a beehive rave? What is going on with this thing on the map?
I think it's radiation from the ground.
Is it?
I think so.
This, too? That's some stylized radiation, Tosis.
Yes.
Okay.
It's neon lights. It's the Las Vegas of Tal'Darim.
It's where you go to party in the middle of the map. So he's going to continue to scout here. Terran not electing to scout just yet. Major saying that he wants to kind of build more of an economy.
I wonder if he'll go for a one barracks expand again. Would not be overly surprised. Remember, this map does not have a ramp to defend. So if he goes for something like that, it is definitely a possibility that incontrol with a well-formed all-in might be able to go ahead and break him.
Yeah, it's quite possible. One thing about Major is he strikes me thus far in the tournament, and, it's different when you're at something like this. It's kind of a rushed, intense tournament. We already see what kind of TV play he likes to play.
Yeah. He
likes to get that expansion up, get about 4 barracks, make a lot of Marines, and then read his opponent from there.
Well, this guy is a complete macro player, Tasteless. In StarCraft 1, he studied the Koreans, played with the Koreans almost nonstop, and they were just known for having better macro than the players outside of Korea. And that really shows in his style.
It really does. Cybernetics core on the way here. No second gas yet from incontrol. And now he will take that. Major spining the hidden probe here. Driving this out. Incontrol will have to retreat. Nothing too impactful thus far.
Nothing indeed, Tasteless. Incontrol getting a second gas. Still chrono boosting out a lot of probes, so it looks like he's going for kind of an economy opener. Now, I'm very interested to see what he does with the 2 gas. A lot of Protoss nowadays like to just expand. Well, we see Major doing that now.
Yep. And he even made it the expansion, so that's going to let incontrol. If he has a special build like he did in the previous game, a special build that will take out a Terran doing this, he's going to have a chance to do that again.
And, I wonder if he'll do that or if he will just expand himself. I'd love to see him throw up an expansion. incontrol is quite good at macro games. He's good at really moving his army around correctly and choosing when to engage. So that might be something smart for him to do. And, in fact, 2 more barracks going up. Will he get gas? Yes, in fact. Okay, so if incontrol were to do the Void Ray build again, he might have more luck with it this time.
The Void Ray build is very good. Void Ray build's always good against fast expanding players as well as people who get tech labs first. Now with this SCV seed expansion, okay, they both are in the know.
Yeah, that's a huge tell for Major. The fact that he saw that is pretty big. And this build is really interesting by incontrol. He's got 2 gases. He never stopped mining from them, and he made a Nexus. So is he just going to go very sentry heavy? Is he going to go for a double forge build? What is he going to rush to tech-wise? Because he has so much gas. There you go, a robotics facility going up. So looks like he probably will rush up to Colossus ASAP.
We see the probe out here taking on Major's SCV. Major just now catches on to what's happening, and the Stalkers clean it up. Orbital now complete, and a mule will land shortly after.
Wow.
I'm like
You predicted that.
I'm like narrating a children's book the way I said that. All right, go on.
Oh. The little mule who could. That'd be a good
Whoa,
book.
whoa, 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 whoa. What?
That's pretty
interesting.
cool. Okay, so basically what's happened here is he scouted that expansion by In Control, and he said, okay, you're expanding very quickly off one gate. I'm going to go ahead and expand again. This is kind of like we've seen MVP play in Korea occasionally. Not in this matchup necessarily, but he realizes In Control can't put together any aggression for a little bit. So Major taking that third base, that is going to put him into a very nice position. I've actually not really seen Terrans do this almost ever in StarCraft 2 yet, so will In Control be prepared for this style?
As you can see, Major's going to go up for a macro game. Ironically, In Control might die for the same reason in two different games, even though the setup was a little bit different. Last game, In Control didn't realize that Major was actually so ahead he was expanding. In Control didn't go back and try to play catch-up. He kept trying to all-in by the time the guy had 4 bases. In this case, In Control, by the way, we have Robotics Bay Tech over here. In Control assumes they're both on 2 base, yet Major is hidden another base over here. And I think out of all the maps that you can play on, hiding a base on this map is probably one of the best things you can do because it's big. There are tons of expansions. There's lots of Zeldonga watchtowers people can control, so it's hard to be mobile.
That's quite true, Tasteless. I mean, what is In Control going to do? Make a Colossus Ball and go out into the middle of the map and go over way to the side and attack? The middle of this map is the most wide open of any map in professional StarCraft 2 right now. So that's going to let Major get as much surface area as he possibly can. He's really prepared well his different strategies on these different maps.
Here, the Colossus is coming.
Oh.
Thermal Lance will be here shortly. But, there's a problem is when you go for Colossus, Artosis, what happens is that you focus so much on getting a few Colossi out, that by then a hidden third base can bring you to victory. You're just going to have more stuff. You're going to come out with your Colossus and get overwhelmed.
Well, we do have an observer floating around, as you see, looking for that third base, and the Rock's almost dead, but he's not going to realize that there is, in fact, a third base. It's just in a completely different place. Another observer even coming out. In Control doing a lot of scouting, but just missing the exact place he needs to check and be like, oh, you have another base.
Well, we don't see an expansion coming up here for In Control. In Control probably confident that he's still 2-basing against his opponent. Interestingly enough, these 2 observers, which have been doing a lot of scouting to check the Army position here, still have not spotted this one location.
Quite true, Tasteless. If we take a quick look in the main base of Major, look at that. Very quick second starport. So he is going for a little bit of Thorzane style, getting that second starport up so that he can produce enough Vikings and Medivacs to correctly deal with the Colossus-based army of In Control. And that's going to make it very hard for In Control because Major is going to be having some sick, serious macro going on with that extra base.
It looks like In Control could be expanding pretty soon here. Major gathers the intel and leaves. Overall, in this game, I feel like Major's been pretty far ahead of In Control, in the way he's approached this. And see, this is what's so smart. He sees that the player's expanding here and says, okay, now I'm going to make it look like I'm trying to keep up with you. This leaves In Control with the impression that they are still even.
That is quite right, Tasteless. But In Control is actually doing something super fascinating right now. We do have double forge going on right there, but that's not the super fascinating part. The super fascinating part is this.
Phoenixes.
He is starting to add his Phoenixes already, so he's going to be going for a Phoenix Colossus army, and this is really interesting. The Phoenixes can be so good against a regular amount of Vikings, but the thing is, he already has 2 starports. If he puts reactors on both and makes a ton of Vikings 4 at a time, then the Phoenixes might turn out to be a waste.
So at this point in time, he should start mass-producing Vikings here. If we look at the unit counting station, there are 3 Colossi here, Colossuses, 4 In Control.
And 60 probes against 60 SCVs, but of course he has those additional mineral patches he's mining from, so he's more efficient. He also has the additional mules, so the economy of Major going to be a bit better than In Control right now.
And the expansion completes at roughly the same time the Protoss expansion is. Now, if you guys can notice here in the supply, it's now starting to catch up, is that now Major could start to make a lot more units very quickly. And if incontrol doesn't catch on to this and punish this expansion, which, by the way, he didn't even make it to a planetary, he made it to an orbital, which meant he was getting 3 mules at a time for a very long period of time instead of 2. And look, you can see the supply is starting to go out of control. Terran on 4 base, very scary. The only thing really Major has to do right now is not miss a supply depot.
Yeah, he just needs a macro. He just needs to get upgrades. In fact, he is already getting plus attack for flying units.
Well, this is an interesting moment as both these guys are starting to stockpile a lot. Incontrol not mismacroing at all, actually, but he's not going to be able to catch up, I think, if this happens. And, this is something that can occur that really makes you want to kick yourself when you realize, oh my God, all I had to do was check this one location. Major actually took a risk here. Hold that thought. We got to drop.
Third base up in control, and he's going to realize, drop's not going to work out because of these Phoenixes. Very nice defense there by in control. And it's little things like that, Tasteless, that are going to form a comeback for our Protoss player.
Yeah, there could be a comeback if he keeps this up.
Another interesting thing is, and we've seen it before, even if Terran gets ahead with the Marine Marauder Medevac Viking Ball, the Protoss, if he just goes ahead and maxes out, sometimes if you just kill an army just right, in the right position on the map, you just kind of run into the Terran base and they don't have enough time to rebuild. So that extra economy isn't going to matter quite as much as they both max out.
All right. He is continuing to maneuver around the map. Nice factory landing here. That way Protoss has to center all of his forces here if he does want to expand. Meanwhile, over here, Major occupying this with 1 Marine. If I can just commend Major for a second, he's doing such a good job of controlling the map the course of the game.
It certainly is, Tasteless. His upgrade's still going. He does have 1-1 on his ground units, about to have +1 on his Vikings. And in control, though, he's still got those 2 forges going. So he has 1-1 on ground, but will have 2-2 when Major just has 2-1.
In control will just now be taking a 4th base as this probe ventures up into that region. Cannon then going to this location here. The supplies are reaching a very high point. Remember, the more Colossi the in control lose, the worse it's going to be because he has to start from scratch. And he's actually killing his own Marines. That's not a mistake. That is to free up some more supply.
They were traitors, Tasteless.
They were traitors.
Well, he is making a lot of ghosts right now. He just finished up personal cloaking, making a ton of Vikings as well.
Uh-oh, he's going to find out. This could be bad.
No, he's never going to find out. That is a forever hidden base, Tasteless.
I can't believe it because this has been a base that's been here since the beginning.
Yeah, that's going to be mined out. In control, go over there to expand later on. Be like, no!
Oh, wait.
And he sees
knows.
it. There's no turret, so he can go ahead and destroy every SCV here. He has plenty of energy.
And you can see instantly response moving out now. Does Major, as he garnered enough benefits here from keeping this base up to pull through with a win. In control has to pull a rabbit out of his hat right now.
I like In Control's army. He has a very scary army. He does have charge for those Zealots. Really nice and strong amount of Quasi. Are there enough Vikings out for Major right now? I only see 10 on the battle. Oh, wait, never mind. He has a ton of them behind. I feel silly. He actually has 18 Vikings, 7 Ghosts, 21 Marines, 22 Marauders, 2 Medevacs, and 71 SCVs. It's a lot of numbers.
It's a lot of numbers, man. Very scary numbers. As you can see, In Control does have his DT tech up. This is where it gets pretty difficult for Terran to keep expanding. So